I'm going to be moving around probably.
Okay.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on. Just don't move beyond that point or beyond that green
Cool.
one there.
What? Camera.
Isaac, it's recording.
Isaac, can you please be quiet for my speech, please?
Okay.
Just asking you nicely. Alright, good morning, people. That's not meant to be part of the speech. BAM! The difference between old and new films are technology. Ideas, concepts, thinking, and limits. If you can imagine giving a 360 controller to a small child, first he must discover what buttons to press, eventually doing basic movement, and after time being a 4-shot pro that kid's got nothing on. This is what films were like at the start. Shifty and basic animation, and simple button pressing. As time goes on, they improvise on their old ways. How do they do this? Testing, updating, and expanding their thinking, and using funding to discover new ways to film. Let's check out the example of King Kong, old and new. In the 1933 King Kong, this is what they came up with. Dramatic. What would you like?
The volume button, if you want to turn it up.
Where is the volume button?
It's the knob that says volume.
Dramatic suspense. It combined an ancient form of animation and a basic set of camera work skills. You should eat it. Slowly, through improvising and expanding their thinking, they updated their technology, which in effect made films better. I was going to show you a video of the new 2005 version, but the YouTube's a bit slow. But basically, it's like so much more improved than the 1933 version. I was going to say, look at that boss filming! Clear, realistic sounds, beautiful scenery and colour. Isn't the change amazing? But obviously you can't see it, so you guys are going to rage. And that's just the start, the tip of the iceberg. Underlying this artwork is everything else a movie is composed of. Talking between characters, script, action pace, the scenes, the animation, special effects and body language, it's all changed. Characters, the people making up the film, the guests, how have they changed from the past? And what does this tell us about the future? There are many stereotyped characters in a film. Damsel in distress, that's an obvious one. A woman in peril that needs help from a Prince Charming. Another one that you might know about is a guy like this. He's a husband, father, worker character. The movie starts off with a family in a kitchen, obviously, and the father's like looking at his clock and he's got to get to work. You can just imagine the whole film. Family problems are rising because of his work. He's so much in love with his work. You can already imagine it right here just from looking at the character. The reason they have these characters is so that they don't have to teach you about the film. They don't want to spend 40 minutes explaining his life to you. It's nice and simple. I don't care, Will. I like to do a walk around like this. Anyway, they don't want to explain all this stuff to you because it takes so long. They want 10 minutes to explain it to you because it's a stereotyped character. You know exactly what he's going to do, and they can get into the drama straight away. What do you think of when you hear of Hollywood? Until Mr. Ho explained last term what Hollywood was, I thought it was some magical word that actors were connected to. It turns out it's actually a place. I was amazed when I learnt that. In the early 1900s, there was a place so perfect for filming, it naturally drew filmers to the area. 99% good weather, varying scenery around the place, including forests and urban environments, it was perfect. As technology changed into computer-generated images commonly called CGI, most of Hollywood's filming revenue came from studios. A studio is a building with a green screen, something you stand on and you can change the background. You probably all know it. If I'm standing here at the front of this classroom, I'm just standing to attention, right? But if I was in front of a green screen, I could be standing to attention with a forest or a cave filled with goblins coming up to stab me. Like, you can just change everything because it's so amazing. And that's what Hollywood has changed into. It's a place with studios where they can have green screens. It's where their office headquarters are. It's where everything is. That's where the headquarters of the world for filming is. Well, at least the American world. Now, what else do I have over here? There is a 70-year difference between the two films of King Kong, the 1933 and the 2005 version. A whole new age of people, and because the times have changed, the storyline of both King Kongs have too. In those days, 1933, the majority of people were very traditional and set in their ways. Racism was a bigger issue than it is now. Homosexuals were heavily frowned upon, and in this movie, King Kong, the big gorilla, he had a heart. In those times, people really had to step out of their thinking to accept the notion of another person's point of view and thinking. That was the main reason for its success. A new way of thinking. Jumping to 2005, it had to appeal to the new generation of movie watchers. Obvious changes being amazing special effects, fantastic picture quality, and a filling budget for the film. The question is, what were the changes and why? You can split it into two things, action and romance. Do you remember King Kong taking on two T-Rexes? What a pro! Like, the heartwarming love between King Kong and Anne. The reason people watch these movies is to have their emotions tugged, their imaginations stretched. And both King Kong movies did exactly that. The genre itself of King Kong? Isaac, would you call King Kong an action romance movie?
Yes, I would.
Hell yes! It was an action romance movie. Hybrid genres are one of the biggest sellers because it draws a wider audience to watch, equals more profits. The explanation to why genres have become paired and commercialized can be found using the evolution explanation. Ephraim, if I stick two humans in a room together and tell them to fight to the death, who will win, the stronger or the weaker person?
Clearly the stronger.
Exactly. If you put two movies in a cinema, one movie's going to come out with more profits. So they're going to grab the good aspects of that stronger film and put it onto their other films. These things eventually become standardized across the board. So there's a top dog race of movies like King Kong. They're all fantastic because they've all got the stronger elements that have come out of the cinemas. These explanations and reasoning should hopefully provide knowledge needed to assess films from past to present. But seriously, what is the reason for this? It's because it allows a picture to form in our minds, which projects the future of filming. There's just one thing that we should take from this. That one thing is the film industry's future. Advancing, updating, introducing, and changing for the better. Sweet.